Hi, my name is Grace and I'm not amazing, but I sure try to be. And with that said, I'd like to talk to you about a place that I think is amazing, and that would be New England. You see, New England has it all. They have the Red Sox, the New England Patriots, the Celtics, the Union Oyster House, which is the oldest restaurant in the United States. They also have Harvard, where you can go to the Harvard Yard and park your car. Okay, that's corny, I know. But you might ask, why is it that I'm talking about New England and I'm supposed to be talking about a project? Well, it's because unlike the New England Patriot footballs, my house will not collapse. Okay, another corny joke. I'm sorry. Let's talk now about how I produced my project. Well, I created it after the homes that are in New England. And I really love the island of Nantucket because it's just a lovely, enchanting island. And on that island, they have some of the most beautiful homes, and they're built of white cedar shingles, and a lot of them are trimmed in white. And you might say, well, it's a white wooden shingle, a white cedar shingle, why is it gray? Well, over the winter and summer, after about a year, they weather to that color. So in any event, I think that Nantucket is absolutely one of the most gorgeous places that I've ever been to in my life. And a lot of it is that enchanting architecture of New England. This is probably my favorite home there because it shows how the landscape is so cottagey looking. A lot of the homes are too, even though some of them are 2 or 3 stories tall. They have that country look to them. And, you know, finished off with a white picket fence and climbing pink roses. They just really are a beautiful sight. So, this is what I modeled my home after, was homes in Nantucket. So let's talk about how I did my project. Well, I'm a landscape design assistant for Gill Landscape Nursery. And with that, I use a program called Dynascape. And so I drew my drawing up in Dynascape to begin with. And this is what it would look like. It's a form of computer-aided drafting that has a lot of the different features that CAD has, which has made it very easy for me to learn some of the other forms of CAD that we offer at the school. From there, I took each little piece and I outlined it again and inset it into the drawing, and then went in and colored each piece in color. So I used 2 different programs to create the drawing that I sent to you. Now let's talk about the drawing itself. I was able to print this off on an 11 by 17 sheet of paper, and let's talk first about the foundation. This home, although it would look like something you would see in Nantucket, it would be built here in Corpus Christi. And our native soil is clay, which is not ideal, but it's what we have to work with. So I would use a monolithic slab that would be reinforced with rebar and also wire mesh. Below that, there would be a polyethylene vapor protector to keep the moisture from seeping through into the home. And then I would have gravel in the narrower parts or the thinner parts of the foundation to protect it from the soil shifting. So let's go up the wall of the home. This would be a light wood frame home, and I found some stuff on the internet, and so I followed what they said on this. And I used 2 by 6 and put them 24 inches on center, which is 2 feet apart, which is kind of close, but I think it'd be great because we live here in Corpus Christi where we can get hurricane force winds. So from there, this was covered by a rigid insulation, and that was covered by plywood sheathing, and then a moisture barrier paper was put over that to keep moisture off of the plywood so that it wouldn't warp or be distorted. And then from there, there would be kind of a space followed by a drainage mat, and the drainage mat would take any moisture that gets into the home and it would travel down with the force of gravity out of this space where there's a flashing. So after all of this would be completed, then we would cover this with the rabbited bevel wood siding, and this would be out of the white cedar, just like the houses in Nantucket, which would give it that appeal like if it were a New England home. At the very top, I finished it off with wood trim, and then we had here a plywood soffit and a wood fascia, and this would create the eaves of the home. There would be ventilation, a ventilation strip, so that any air could come through that hole, go down, and the wall would actually breathe. Above that, it would be finished off with a metal dripped edge, and that would go up a little bit higher into the top of the roof to protect the edge of the roof from rotting. So now let's talk about the roof and the attic and the rafters. This home again would have a wood frame, so that it means that it also, the top of it would be built out of wood. So the rafters are out of wood, and they have metal angles that holds it together. This would all be above the ceiling joist, and then it would be finished off on the outside at the top with an insulation baffle, and then wood, a plywood roof sheathing, and then covered with asphalt shingles. So let's talk about the interior. The ceiling would be of gypsum board, and then the wall would be finished with gypsum board too, which would all be non-combustible, or to help the house not be such a fire hazard. And you might think, well, golly, there's so much wood in this, it could be a fire hazard. That is true. However, again, I was trying to go after the New England look. The floor would be finished off in a ceramic tile, and the walls, if you notice, there's a lot of insulation in the attic, in the roof, and down the wall of the house. And I did that so that the house would be a little bit more cost effective in the long run, because it would not use so much energy to heat and cool it. In conclusion, I hope you've enjoyed my presentation of my cross section of a New England style home that would be built here in Corpus Christi. Again, this is one last shot of what the homes in Nantucket look like, and that's the style I was trying to achieve. Thank you so much for your time, and I've enjoyed your class this year.